Hello and welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. We've got another data mine / leaked cards video. These are some of my favorite to do because I love thinking about the future of the game, as I know many of you guys do as well. So what I want you to do as we talk over these cards, comment down below, what type of deck would you build? What type of combinations or interactions would you expect to see with these cards? This is what it's all about, especially for all of us non-meta players who try and be unique and different. What are the things that you would do with these cards? Comment down below. Let's get into it. So right off the rip, the number one card that we're going to be talking about is a 2/3 Black Swan that reads, on reveal, until the end of next turn, your 1-cost cards cost 0. So obviously right off the jump, people are going to be thinking, okay, 1-cost cards, Khazar. Okay, so there's that option. You can also think about maybe Thanos with all of the stones and the other 1-drops that a lot of people have inside of those Thanos decks. Probably a lot of maybe Blue Marvel type stuff that we're going to be able to see here. I know a lot of people also play the Dracula dump deck where you have Infinite or whatever. Wow, I was about to say America Chavez. Not anymore. Where you have Infinite and other big cards in your hand and you play a bunch of 1-drops. Black Swan seems really, really cool. For me personally, as you guys can imagine, my mind goes to a good old Iron Fist into Human Torch into Ghost Spider for free, giving you a good bit of power on the board. And then allowing you to maybe even have like Sunspot. Like, think about that. If you have Sunspot down and you have a lot of 1-cost cards, you could play a lot of 1-cost cards and then also get Sunspot to be absolutely stacked. So lots of different fun opportunities, and 2/3 is a pretty good, just kind of even keel stat line to where you don't feel bad putting it on the board, giving you 3 power, not too shabby. Black Swan, what do you guys think? Next up, y'all, and I am so excited about this because it has to deal with the discard archetype, which in my opinion is one of the most fun archetypes to play, just because of all the possibilities to get power and stuff on the board. It's just a lot of fun. But we've got a 3/4 Corvus Glaive, which reads, on reveal, discard 2 cards from your hand to get +1 max energy. Okay, so the way that I see this working is you play Corvus Glaive on turn 3, and then shortly after that, you would most likely either play Hell Cow or Lady Sif and Blade. Say you have Apocalypse in hand and you go Lady Sif, Blade. That could help you out. You could also just go maybe Colleen Wing and Blade if you have Swarm in hand, something along those lines. And then on turn 5, not only would you be able to play MODOK, but you would also be able to play a 1-drop. So let's say that maybe you did go with, I don't know, maybe you went Colleen Wing and Blade, but you could have also just gone Hell Cow, and then that would mean on turn 5 you now have 6 energy, which then you could go MODOK Blade potentially if you didn't discard it. And the opportunities seem really, really cool for Corvus Glaive to make discard even better, being able to play those extra cards and whatnot to really get things going. One of my favorite combos that I used to do was playing Snow Guard on the same turn as MODOK to give my Mobius or to give my Morbius +4 just with that. Just playing that card, getting it down, discarding, all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool potential here for Corvus Glaive. How do you guys think you would use them? And then next, this one actually seems pretty freaking insane. Okay, so a 4/10 Cole Obsidian that reads, you can only play this at a location with an Infinity Stone. Ongoing, can't be destroyed. So now, that reminds me a lot of what Black Knight has now with his blade not being able to be destroyed. It's an ongoing. So Cole Obsidian fitting obviously only inside of a Thanos deck, but that also brings us back to Black Swan again. to where if you have Black Swan inside of that Thanos deck, you can play those 1-cost cards as well as Obsidian on the same turn, filling things out, doing lots of stuff. So it seems like Thanos is actually getting a little bit of a buff here. So first of all, how many of you guys have Thanos? Do you not have him? Are you still waiting to get him? I would say Thanos is one of my favorite of the big bads, if not my favorite. Lots of cool opportunities within that deck archetype because of the stones and the different things that they provide. Obviously, a lot of the ongoing Professor X, Blue Marvel ones are some of the best. But seeing Obsidian here fit inside of that deck is actually pretty cool. 410, a lot of power. And the fact that it can't be destroyed, that's pretty freaking insane. How do you guys feel about Obsidian? Next up, fitting inside of the discard archetype once again, we've got Proxima Midnight, a 4/6 that reads, when this is discarded, jumps to your lowest power location. Okay, so first question, do you typically play Wolverine inside of your discard deck? I typically don't play Wolverine inside of my discard deck because there's just other things that I play most of the time, but Proxima Midnight seems absolutely incredible inside of a MODOK Wolverine Proxima Midnight deck. Playing MODOK on turn 5, allowing you to get Proxima down on the board at 6, jumping to a location with the lowest amount of power, which for the most part will be good unless that location is like Bar with No Name or something like that. But also, it can give you access to those locations that are locked off. Locations where you can't play cards. Locations where, I don't know, maybe you can't play a 4, 5, or 6 cost card at that location, and Proxima goes over there, throwing some power down there. Somebody could have Goose down, somebody could have Storm down, and you have Proxima in hand, and she comes out and jumps over to that location. Really, really cool card that I actually think is going to fit incredibly well, not only inside of full-on discard decks, but could fit inside of some little hybrid decks where people are playing Black Knight, and you have Proxima as well, and you have Black Knight down, then you discard Death or Infinite, and then you play Blade to discard Proxima Midnight, getting it down. Lots of fun opportunities. Super cool card. How are you guys feeling about discard in general after a couple of these that I've talked about? And what do you think about Proxima Midnight? Because really, I think being able to play MODOK and getting Proxima and Wolverine down at the same time for 10 free power on the board is pretty good. And then next up, we have got a 1/2 Supergiant. On reveal, all cards played this turn and next turn don't reveal until the game ends. So that's interesting. And it makes me wonder, with the new changes to Alioth, where the cards have to be played, or the cards have to be unrevealed for Alioth to work, if the game ends, would that mean that Alioth would take those cards out? Or because he didn't reveal in time, he's not going to? That's the first question that I have there. And then honestly, like, if you think about it, if you feel as though you're going up against somebody who is playing Professor X, who is playing some of these lockdown style cards, you could play Supergiant either early on to mess somebody up. So like you can play Supergiant on turn 1, and then turn 2 and 3, those cards won't reveal until the end of the game, which is very interesting. Because like, let's say that somebody's playing Werewolf by Night or something like that, and they play Werewolf, and then you play Supergiant, they play a bunch of on-reveal cards. Now, Werewolf's not going to bounce around where they want them to. They could have wasted some of their on-reveal cards. Now those locations are going to fill up in a different way, and it really seems like it could be a pretty frustrating card. But I kind of love the fact that you can hide some things behind it, because I mean, what's his name? The 410, the Atuma. You could play Atuma with Supergiant. And I imagine that it would work the same way that it does behind Invisible Woman. So Supergiant seems really, really cool as well. Let me know what you guys think about Supergiant. What type of deck would you put it in? Do you think it's just going to be kind of a tech card that people use to annoy / at the same time? Yo, it could work so good in discard decks. What? Supergiant's going to be incredible in Hella decks, man. Like, you play Supergiant, and then you can put down Hella. So it says this turn and next turn. So this turn would include the turn where you play Supergiant. You play Supergiant down, and depending on if you played Wave or something like that, you'd be able to put some stuff down. But if you played Supergiant on turn 4, you could go MODOK Hella and pop off. So really, it seems like a lot of these are kind of designed for discard to get a little bit of a little bump, if you know what I'm saying. So let me know how you guys feel about all of these cards. What are your favorite ones? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.